Good afternoon. I'm Agnes, and today the person that I would like to introduce is Gadalin Galigo. I think during the pandemic, the importance of vaccine is significant, is undoubtedly. So this is the reason that I try to introduce these people, even though that I'm not good at biology. I still try to do that. So, what is her achievement? Without her, the the Moderna and the BNT vaccines already exist. So, this is today's outline. In this presentation, I would like to introduce her contribution to mRNA vaccines and also talk about her perseverance and making dreams come true. So that we can learn from her experience and maybe try to learn her perseverance. But firstly, I would like to talk about how mRNA vaccine works. So firstly, the scientists would take part of the virus genetic code and then turn it into a vaccine. And then after the vaccine is injected into the person, the mRNA will enter the cell and instruct the cells to produce a homeless piece of protein that is called the spike protein, just the green things in the picture. And this spike protein is formed on the surface of the virus that causes COVID-19. And next, our cells will display this spike protein on their surface. And our immune system will recognize that this protein does not belong there. So this will trigger our immune system to produce antibodies and activate the T cells to fight off what it thinks is an infection. So at the end of this process, our body will have learned how to protect us against the infection. And so when the people actually catch coronavirus, the antibodies and T cells will be triggered to fight off the virus. And brands that use mRNA vaccine technologies include Moderna and Pfizer, and vaccines from Pfizer is known as BNT. And then I would like to talk about relation between Gadolin and mRNA. Actually, she is not the only one or the first one that come up with the thought that use mRNA to serve as vaccines. Actually, this thought is kind of popular among her time, but because there exist some problems, so gradually most of the scientists just give up this thought. But she persists on this and finally find a way to solve the problem and make this thought into reality. So what is the problem? The problem is that the mRNA is so vulnerable. That is means it will be destroyed by our immune system even before the mRNA, the vaccine can reach the target cell. And based on what I just say, how the mRNA vaccine works, we can know that if the mRNA can reach the target cell, it can do the things what we expect it to do. There of course are many problems, but this is the main problems that bothers them. Then second part, I would like to talk about her perseverance. And these are some difficulties she faced during her life. To illustrate these difficulties more completely, I would like to talk about her story. So at first, she worked at the Biological Research Center in Hungary, which is her hometown. There she began her investigation of mRNA, but in 1985, without further funding to support her research in the Biological Research Center, she and her family immigrated to the United States. But at that time, when they immigrated to the United States, they with only $100 and 900 pounds, which that according to my research, the previous exchange rate that is equal to about 50,000 NT dollars. So they moved to a new country. They moved to a totally new country with such little property. But things didn't go well after she went to the United States. Her career in University of Pennsylvania is full of rejection. Her grant application would repeatedly be turned down because her idea was considered to be wild and fanciful. She was even be demoted and at the same time faced skepticism from her fellow scientists. But even faced with these difficulties, all she did was keep her focus on mRNA and do her best to try to solve the problem. And finally, she met a person that also interested in what she was doing, and they solved the problem and made mRNA to be a practical way together. But before this pandemic that was it her great achievement, she had dedicated 40 years into her research. So grant applications are repeatedly being turned down and people don't support what she wants to do and think her idea is fanciful and even being demoted because she persists on a project that others think that wouldn't succeed. Even with these difficulties, she still dedicated 40 years into her research. 40 years. I really, really admire her perseverance. So, last part is my conclusion. I think she definitely deserves the title that Time magazine selects her as one of the 100 most influential people in the world. She definitely deserves it because of her great contribution to mRNA vaccines. But at the same time, I think her perseverance is also very important because that is her perseverance that makes she success. And actually, her perseverance is the things that we can learn from her. So this is my presentation. Thank you for your attention. This is some research that I found the information, and yeah, this is my presentation.
Right. Thank you very much, Agnes. I think you still have maybe roughly 1 minute. Maybe you could still try to share with us some more information about the scientist. I think you mentioned that the mRNA vaccines we're using now are based on the technology she's been developing. So I wonder, so did the pharmaceutical companies did they purchase the patent from her, or she just gave away her technology?
I had looked at the original by her pattern, but in about 300, 300, no, 3 millions, I'm not sure, 3 million US dollars. The BNT, I'm not sure, but the BNT seems to ask her to be a vice president or something.
Um,
Yeah, I'm not sure.
let's see. Yeah, but thank you for the information. I think it's very important. So yeah, it seems that she finally received some recognition for all the work, all the 40 years, right? She has been putting into the project. Okay, thank you. Good. Can we also start with any question or comments, especially maybe some of you already, those of you who already got vaccinated. So I think this is the woman you want to say thank you to. So can we start with anyone?
I would
Yes.
like to ask a question. I think the person that you choose to present is like in a similar situation as mine because both person are in their very professional fields, but if we haven't done research, we will not who they are. And so, what's your motivation to make you want to dive into her stories and make her the people that you want to present in this presentation?
I must say, to be honest, the biggest motivation that I choose this person is that because our project, the most important problem we need to solve in this presentation is that what is this people influential the people influential the words. So I think her achievement, her contribution is very significant, and actually, and at the same time, I think it is very important. So that I try to research uh, some of the things and try to present these people because yeah, I think she is very important.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the question. Yeah, I think it's a very good question. I think also we have a hint from Emily.
I would like to give comments because
Yes.
yeah, in the daily life, I will follow up the international news in the social issue or some news, but I seldom follow this kind of field in science. So I admire you that you can understand a new principle or understand new knowledge, and then you can deliver it in a really clear way. So I understand some related knowledge about mRNA and also the story of the scientist. So I think it's a really fruitful process, and thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Right. So thank you for the positive feedback, Emily. Yeah, I think I do agree. I think Agnes did a very good job in explaining how exactly the mRNA technology can be used in the vaccine. So our body can create the antibodies to fight against the virus. Very good. So can we have maybe one or two more questions or comments? Okay, if not for the moment, I think then we're going to move on to the next presenter. So let's give Agnes another big hand. So thank you very much. Right, so our next